Hey everyone, this is Bluejays, host of NFT Hype. NFT Hype covers the hottest projects in the NFT world, get to know their communities, and brings you down the rabbit hole of non-fungible tokens. We are sponsored by CryptoSlam. Are you an NFT collector? See where you stand on cryptoslam.io. On today's show, we have Jacob Eisenberg of NBA TopShot. Check out a preview of it. Those things are just beautiful, especially that hollow icon one. But yeah, some of the earlier ones that you had too as well, they just look so real and you just like want to rip them open. Something about them, right?
Yeah, and when we did the hero promotion, he shared some pack artwork, and we got overwhelming responses and troll comments in his Instagram post saying how they look like condoms. We're aware. We actually think that could help on the virality sake.
Yeah. Enjoy the show. All right. Welcome to NFT Hype. Thank you, Jacob, for joining me today. Jacob Eisenberg of the NBA Top Shot project, which is kicking butt on so many levels. Not to mention some of the great production values that you guys have for the moments that you came up with. Are you able to tell us, Jacob? Well, first off, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I'm actually going to put on headphones real quick.
Okay, cool. Well, Jacob, who's your favorite player?
So historically, my favorite player all time is Pablo Prigioni of the New York Knicks. He only had a limited stint with the Knicks, but it was the golden age of my Knicks fandom. We actually made the playoffs. And then if not Pablo, Draymond Green. I'm a diehard Michigan State Spartan fan, and I remember when Draymond was the pudgy freshman who got 6 minutes a game in their tournament run, and just seeing him kind of go from ninth man on a good team as a freshman to becoming All-American as a senior, and just kind of continuously proving the doubters wrong. I love the energy he brings, and he's quite a controversial character. I understand it, but I think he's a good guy, and I think his heart's in the right place, and I think he's just a savant on the court. Whether he can shoot or not at this point remains to be seen come playoff time, but he's certainly electric when he's cooking.
Oh yeah, good picks. I wouldn't have suspected it, but that's awesome. Now, because you said that, it just automatically made me think of my childhood growing up playing basketball. Like you must have been a baller, right?
I was what we would call a rec league all-star. I played a lot of rec. I played in the Temple League in my county. Never played for our high school team. I was never quite good enough, though. I would say, I could have maybe rode the pine as a senior, maybe gotten 5 minutes of action over the course of the entire season. But I don't think I had the dedication to play at that level or the college level for sure.
Oh yeah. And well, I mean, same here. Pretty much my story. I wasn't good enough to make the high school team, but I definitely played in rec league and played on courts outside, and loved 3-on-3 and half court, and just loved all that stuff. What was your favorite position?
I like to play point guard. So Prigioni is my favorite player. I try to model my game a lot after players like him. Lamar Odom was a guy that I really enjoyed watching because I was always fairly tall and lanky, but pretty decent ball handler, pretty decent passer. So that point forward kind of role was something I always kind of gravitated toward. On defense, I would tend to play big man, which was ironic because I was always a twig. But it was, I think the most realistic NBA comparison I could give to myself is probably like Sean Livingston without an elite mid-range game. Maybe.
So far, I've noticed you've been using a lot of West Coast players. Is that because you grew up out there?
No, I'm actually born and raised in New York, live in Brooklyn to this date. Obviously, the Warriors were such a formational team over the past decade, and I try to stick to players that I think everyone will know or will have at least heard of, with Sean Livingston, of course, winning multiple titles. But growing up, like that comp that I got from friends was I was Jared Jeffries, and that like I was pretty good defensively, could kind of guard all these positions, but certainly didn't have much of a perimeter shot. I think over time, like in college, I really developed that and became an actually solid player. But yeah, I think the Knicks don't inspire much as far as historically. So when I'm looking at who I try to model my game after, certainly Warriors players were the ones that kind of were more. Yeah.
Yeah. The Knicks players, I mean, I can remember Charles Oakley. He's a good one. He was on the Raptors as well too. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So it takes me back to playing. Also, it's just funny how all of this stuff comes up into our adulthood life, and just in the way things have evolved over the years with digital collectibles. This is just like should be like pure playground and fun for you when you wake up every morning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. You've been monitoring TopShot for months, and I think you can attest that the past maybe 5 weeks is just a different kind of stratosphere from where it was in 2020. But it's awesome to see so many basketball fans, so many collectors, not necessarily even diehard fans, getting into the space and really understanding kind of the long-term value of these collectibles and enjoying kind of obsessively like scouring the market, trying to find outlier deals and trying to find, the right serial number, trying to find plays, be it, obviously the jersey match and the first mint are the most popular, but we're starting to see some collectors really target players' birth years or the year they were drafted. There are a lot of different angles to play. So, it's been really cool. It's been really rewarding to see the community really just take off. And I think as far as the collector base goes, we have 30,000 moment owners right now. And
wow.
When we look at kind of the space and just how big the NBA is as a worldwide brand, we're talking about literally more than a billion fans around the world. So our first 30,000, we're really excited for all of them because they're in super early. And we think that there's a lot more basketball fans to come to the platform in due time.
Yeah, good call on that one. 30,000 out of a billion is not a lot at all. Talk about like from 2020 to 2021. What changed there? Like what happened there in terms of growth in your mind?
Yeah, I think it was a confluence of maybe 4 or 5 different things. I'll rattle them off. The first thing that was something we had been kind of excited about since October open beta, we knew we had a deal with Tyler Hero lined up. And we knew that he was going to add a lot of brand legitimacy if we could use his likeness on the site and he's promoting it externally. That just is a feather in our cap that we're legit. On top of the fact that obviously we're partnered with the NBA and the Players Association, and our investors include Andre Iguodala and JaVale McGee and Aaron Gordon. We knew that just having a player endorsing the product would be a big step in the right direction. We launched a showcase contest. A showcase is a feature on TopShot where you can put together essentially a highlight reel of your favorite moments. We created a showcase contest and we created basically a stimulus package for our economy where if you bought your first pack, you were gifted $5 in credit to then spend toward building a showcase. If you build your showcase, you get 10 likes on your showcase on TopShot, you get an additional $15. So we created feedback loops that really got collectors hooked on the collecting and the kind of the strategy behind putting together the best showcase to get likes. So that with Hero, that with the $5 back on your first pack, and obviously, needless to say, the biggest factor of it all, the season starting, right? When the off seasons, this is universal in trading card space, this is universal in fantasy sports. If it's the off season, people move on to football or they move on to the other sports that are in the calendar. When the NBA came back, the confluence of all of these things hitting at once was really kind of powerful for momentum. And then last but not least, I would say getting some influencers in the space. So the Fantasy Labs guys, Jonathan Bales bought the John Morant for $35,000. and then he wrote an article, basically self-aware, saying, I bought a highlight that I could watch on YouTube for $35,000. Here's why. And I think through that blog, we've just seen a total kind of wave of fantasy sports players coming to TopShot, understanding kind of where the opportunities are. And I think it's a little different than fantasy sports in that this is, I look at it like an arcade, right? Like I would never encourage someone to come to TopShot with money that they don't have to spend on TopShot, similar to an arcade in that sense. But I think it's a lot of fun. Everyone that's collecting is having fun doing so. And there might be opportunities to find good deals in the market, but it's certainly entertainment first and foremost in my eyes.
Oh yeah, just as if I don't know if you collected sports cards when you were a kid, but yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, we definitely wanted to open a pack and get a good player, but this just kind of takes it to another level. Talk about the design of your packs. Like I'm just seeing it in your background there. Who did that? That's just an amazing job.
Yeah, we have world-class designers on our team. I'm inspired every day to work with so many great people on our team, from the designers to our product people. Our design team in particular is fairly uncommon in the blockchain space and tech space in that it's female led. So our head of design, our head of TopShot design, all women, and they've really done a great job in kind of making the pack art really kind of addictive to kind of like, you can tell, be it a cosmic set or the finals legendary set, people really gravitate toward the pack art that they think that resonates with them. So in addition to obviously the great highlight in the moment, what makes these NFTs so cool is that it's not just the highlight, it's not just the serial number, it's all the collectible details within the moment and the artwork that you get as you collect it as well.
Yeah, it's maybe an idea for the future, but it's a shame that you guys burned those packs, huh? Or sort of they go away. It would be kind of cool to have them, stay with you, because they're definitely a work of art on its own. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And we're looking into certain ideas around being able to reopen a pack that you've already opened. We've had some bugs in recent weeks in which a pack might get delivered and the opening experience is compromised in some capacity. So we're working hard to address that in creative ways so that if someone opens a pack and it's not the most perfect first experience, they'll have another opportunity, so to speak. But that's in the roadmap. I don't know what a timeline for that would look like necessarily, but I think to your point, like, this artwork is awesome, and while you get it on the moment itself, I think just having a ledger of all of the packs you've bought and opened would be a cool kind of touch to the ear.
Yeah, absolutely. Those things are just beautiful, especially that hollow icon one. But yeah, some of the earlier ones that you had too as well, they just look so real, and you just like want to rip them open. Something about them, right?
Yeah, and when we did the hero promotion, he shared some pack artwork, and we got overwhelming responses and troll comments in his Instagram post saying how they look like condoms. We're aware. We actually think that could help on the virality sake.
Yeah.
I think it's a unique twist on what a trading card pack looks like, and certainly because these moments are square, or at least the thumbnails are square, it fits pretty well. But potentially the pack artwork will be three-dimensional. It's already somewhat three-dimensional, but I think there are other layers to that to come still.
Okay, well, just don't have a Magnum pack anytime soon.
Well, let me write that down. It's important.
Yeah. Okay. So what's coming up? Well, first off, let's regress a little bit. What is your role on the team?
Sure. So I lead our community, and I have a lot of help because it takes a village to raise a community that's growing as quickly as ours. But I would say day to day, I am managing our team that oversees our Twitter, our Instagram, our Discord. I send out, I'd say 75 to 80% of our emails. My boss, Katie, sends out the emails when we do something wrong and kind of helps. She's a wordsmith for sure. So she kind of helps in the very kind of stressful situation, so to speak. But generally, if you're getting emails about pack drops, you're getting emails about what's going on in the community, be it a dev diary or community roundup, those are generally coming from me. I'm now doing a daily office hours in our Discord. So just kind of trying to be a man of the people, so to speak. And historically, I have a lot of experience working with influencers. I covered the NBA as a locker room kind of journalist for a few years. So I'm slowly but surely transitioning into kind of presenting myself more as an external champion of the community in maybe a quasi-influencer capacity where I can speak on behalf of the team, do podcasts like this one, which I'm very appreciative of you having me on. And yeah, I think just generally speaking, like I love hoops, love the NBA, have always obsessed over the NBA. I can like remember as like maybe a fifth grader obsessing over Theo Ratliff's expiring contract and just wondering like who's going to try to acquire that. So to be able to kind of...
Wait, he was on Philly, right? Was that the Philly contract?
Yeah, so he was on Philly, got traded for Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo went to Philly, so Ratliff went to the Hawks, and then Mutombo won Defensive Player of the Year, helped Allen Iverson get to the finals, of course. Couldn't quite get over the hump of beating Shaq.
I remember we had, that's right. Yeah. I remember we had him on our fantasy team and we used to call him Blockliff because he would just get all the blocks. Like he's just look at that column and it'd be like 7 blocks. So like, wow,
Yeah, we need a moment of his one day. But I say that more because I always like thought my dream job would be working as a general manager. And I think that's what pretty much every basketball fan at one point has thought. And, I did consulting for some teams. I am close with a few executives around the league. Close might be overstating it, but I'm friendly and certainly on a first name basis and can email them. But I would just say like dating back to like very early childhood, I was playing a lot of NBA Live 98, playing a lot of NBA Live 99. I learned players kind of contracts and ratings that way. So just kind of had a Rolodex of information in my head about who was good, who wasn't, and that's kind of always stuck with me. So I think for our team, we have a lot of casual NBA fans for sure. I like kind of putting my finger on thumb on the scale, so to speak, and weigh in on, I think we should put this rookie in our next rookie debut pack because X, Y, and Z. This guy is not quite as kind of highly touted, despite him putting up more points per game than the other guy. Things like that. I always like having a little bit of input on the editorial side because I think, at the end of the day, people want to just have the best experience possible. And I think that we're constantly iterating on which moments we get. And as the past 5 weeks have really taken off, we're starting to have a little bit more ability to constructively kind of feedback with the league and players association to get even better moments into the pipeline.
Oh, so you actually make the call into the player and say, hey, can you do a slam dunk tonight? And then no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, we did tell Tyler Hero to perform well in the playoffs so we could use his finals moments. That was all part of the script.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I love that you have those connections within the league too, because it just puts you closer to the ground and just knowing and having that knowledge there is just brings a lot to the team for sure.
Yeah, I haven't tapped into any of those contacts yet. I think it'll be cool when they hear about TopShot organically, and then we can kind of chop it up from there.
Wouldn't it be cool? I don't know if it's been done already, but probably some of your investors, but the ones who the players, have they started collecting any moments yet?
So Bogdan Bogdanovic of the Atlanta Hawks is our first player to actually own their own moment.
Nice.
He bought his legendary moment from last season when he was on the Kings. I think it was a hollow MMXX, so 2020. And I know that other players are starting to come to the platform. Josh Green, rookie of the Dallas Mavericks, his agent and him opened up a pack just last week, and lo and behold, they pulled a Josh Green moment. So
no way, did they really?
What are the chances? Really can't make this stuff up, but that was exciting for us to see. He posted it on his Instagram story. I think his fans are probably like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
without much context. But
and so that leads into sort of like the type of person to come into the community. What are you seeing so far? Like, is it traditional collectors? And obviously it's a mix of everyone and anyone, but can you see any trends there?
Yeah, I think it's kind of 4 or 5 different buckets. Recently, the overwhelming bucket has been daily fantasy sports players. Again, that Jonathan Bales blog talking about why he purchased the John Morant, and certainly in recent weeks we've seen Jeremy Levine buy a $100,000 Zion moment. So I think in that specific realm of Twitter, a lot of daily fantasy sports players have just come crashing in, and some of them are in it for a quick buck, and that's not kind of what TopShot's all about. Some are in it for kind of long haul, which we're really excited about.
Now, what is it about the fantasy players that want to come to this? What do you think it is?
I think fantasy sports players for years have all thought that they would be the best general manager in the world, right?
Right.
And there's something cool about being able to put your money where your mouth is, quite literally, and say, I think Jason Tatum is going to be a superstar if he's not already considered a superstar.
So it's like speculating on the future potential value of the player. Yeah.
So there's the daily fantasy sports element of like, you're looking at the calendar. Ooh, I see the Sixers are playing on national TV 3 times this week. I think Ben Simmons moments are going to go up in value. So there's certainly that. But then there's also the keeper league element of like, I think LaMelo Ball is a future Hall of Famer. I want his first assist because 40 years from now, there's no telling how coveted that moment is going to be in the world. There's that angle too.
And you kind of picking up on something that I sort of naturally did when I was looking at stuff on the market. I obviously wanted to get the younger players with potential on the upside, and ones that have nice moments. So I picked up, and I haven't followed the NBA in the last couple of years just because I've been so head down in this NFT world. But I got Josh Okogie. What do you know about him?
So he's Nigerian, really great defender, Georgia Tech product. He had a surprisingly strong rookie season. I was not super high on him coming out of college because he was not much of a shooter. And in my eyes, if you're just a great defender, there are a lot of people you can pick up. Brooklyn Nets just picked up Iman Shumpert for that role off the waiver, off the free agent circuit. So Okogie is an excellent dunker, really athletic, great defender. Minnesota's, of course, just not the best team these days. And I think with them picking up Malik Beasley and trading for D'Angelo Russell and drafting Anthony Edwards and drafting Jarrett Culver last year, there's just a crowded kind of glut of players in that backcourt.
Okay.
I think Okogie is an interesting guy, and I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him move on from Minnesota at some point and end up on a contender playing the 7th or 8th man role, as similar to maybe what KCP did for the Lakers last year, as just kind of like a guy that came in primarily as a defender and then expanded the role. But yeah, I think it's tough. Minnesota's defense is just so bad. So even someone like Okogie, who by reputation is a really good defender, it's it's hard for one player on a team to make such a defensive impact unless you're maybe like Rudy Gobert or Joel Embiid, who can kind of be just a rim protector first and foremost.
Wow, that's amazing. What a that's worth price admission right there. That's awesome. Now I know what to do with my Koji. I like to buy. I keep him buy low and sell high. So I'll wait till he gets traded to the Lakers and then probably move him. What is it about these Series 1? How much? What was the supply? Do you know what the total supply of Series 1 was?
As far as how many different moments we minted in Series 1?
Yeah, just like ballpark or
Ballpark is high three figures. I don't think we had more than 1,000. I think we have about 1,000 moments on our platform right now. So I think high three figures. Circulating count obviously significantly lower on all of those Series 1 moments than anything in Series 2 that isn't rare or legendary. So people were able to pick up, limited edition commons that are minted up to 1,000 in Series 1, and in Series 2, it's quite possible that the rare moments will be minted up to 999, just like the conference finals packs were. So still value in Series 1. I think as collectors kind of speculate on the long-term future of TopShot, there's certainly just like any comic book first edition or any trading card first edition, Series 1 will always have weight. But I also, with that being said, I think Series 2 is also super early in TopShot. So people that have come to the ballpark, come to the stadium, so to speak, are in good hands because, again, 30,000 people right now, and certainly many, many more millions that like the NBA and can understand why a LeBron James dunk is valuable in the same way that maybe other crypto assets are valuable.
Yeah, fair enough. Will you guys ever do, like you mentioned, Theo Ratliff there, would you guys ever do past moments, or is that off the table for now?
It's not off the table. We actually did one historic pack to date.
Okay.
That was the Run It Back set from 2013-14. We did that set to get Giannis's rookie moment to TopShot, among other players. Dennis Schroeder had his rookie moment. Steven Adams had his rookie moment. But yeah, I think we plan to actually do another Run It Back drop in the next month and a half, maybe, and that will include players, Hall of Famers debuts on TopShot, a bunch of them actually. So we're really excited about it. The year, I can't be too specific, but the year is between 2005 and 2010. So these will be the earliest moments on TopShot to date.
No way, 2005 to 2010. Wow, a lot of good stuff going on there.
Yeah, we're pumped. I can't say it enough. Quite a few Hall of Famers that are already in the Hall of Fame are going to make their TopShot debuts. So,
wow!
If you look at,
speaking of which, Vince Carter had some great last moment. Why was his card so hot?
Yeah, well, I think you put it well. It was literally his last moment of his career. It was a 3-pointer, and I think on top of the NBA significance of Vince Carter, a future Hall of Famer's last play of his career being a 3 that he drains, you can also think of it in the cultural relevancy of that was essentially the last shot in NBA history pre-COVID, right? That night was the Rudy Gobert night where they basically closed up the season, or closed up the season as we knew it pre-bubble. And so if you look at just the history books, March 11th is always going to have significance in the basketball world as kind of like unprecedented territory. So it was a confluence of, Vince Carter's last career bucket, COVID hitting, and that's always just going to have relevance.
And him being a Hall of Famer.
Him being a Hall of Famer for sure.
I think he's a slam dunk for that. Yeah. Unless he already got inducted. I'm not sure.
So you can't get inducted to the Hall of Fame. I believe it's 5 years past
Okay.
retire. So you need to be retired for 5 years before you're first eligible. But I think there was a lot of uh, discussion about whether he'd be a Hall of Famer. Kind of closer to when he was like with the Mavericks, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And the fact that he put up 5 or 6 really steady, good years as a role player, it just sealed the deal for sure. That this guy went from being the next Michael Jordan in some circles when he was early with Toronto to being a very, very solid player for New Jersey for quite a few years to, you know, playing with Orlando to Phoenix. I think I can probably get the sequence of all the teams Vince Carter played for, but I'm not going to try because I think he played for too many. I can say with certainty that I'm rattling them off. We go Toronto
So
to New Jersey
yeah.
to Orlando, where he got traded for Courtney Lee, to Phoenix, to I want to say Dallas, to Memphis, to Sacramento,
Did he
back
really?
maybe back to Memphis. I don't quote me on that. Then he definitely went to Atlanta to wrap up the career. It was Sacramento to Atlanta. I know that for sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure him and his mom still have a parking spot at the ACC in Toronto. So I don't know. He's like he could have been. Well, I mean, I think I don't know if he will go into the Hall of Fame. Probably as a Raptor. I'm hoping so, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. He made a mark on the city for sure, and he put Toronto on the map. So
Yeah, it was too bad that he had somewhat of a acrimonious departure. I think, he would be the first to say he would do things differently if he could.
oh yeah,
But everything works out.
yeah, and I think at the time, like Vince played his butt off, and he just didn't have the support on the team. Like even his cousin left, and I think that was the kind of deal that kind of let him out of he wanted to leave after that, but
Right. Yeah. I mean, just imagine if Tracy and Vince stuck together,
right.
what would have been, what could have been.
Well, yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I'm glad that Toronto did finally get a championship with Kawhi. It was just an epic season, like all throughout. I didn't even think we were going to win that Golden State series until literally in the fourth quarter of that game, because anything could have happened.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from Toronto because what an achievement to win. I think the only other team that did something so drastic in the offseason to have such a quick turnaround, from my recollection, is the Celtics' big three with KG and Ray
Oh yeah,
Allen. Obviously, like people are going to say, oh, well, Kevin Durant went to Golden State and they won, but that's a little different. And I think we all know that. But yeah, I mean, Golden State, man, just you never want to win knowing that there's like going to be an asterisk tied to, well, what if Clay didn't get hurt? What if KD
yeah.
didn't get hurt? And
But
that's not taking anything away.
KD rushed himself back though.
He did, and
Yeah,
that was I feel for KD, and obviously he paid the price of rushing because he tore his Achilles, and
yeah,
that's really devastating. I think he certainly felt pressure, be it direct pressure from his team or internal pressure, because he knows that he can help his team win another championship, and that goes into his
yeah.
legacy.
Well,
But
that
even with Clay, I think Clay got hurt, I think, in the fourth quarter of that game 6, and he was about to go into one of those classic Clay overdrives where he puts up.
that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, so I mean, I it's such a bummer. I love Clay so much as a player. I really want to see Draymond, Steph, Clay have one more kind of go at it, and be it with James Wiseman, be it whether they use James Wiseman to acquire another star. They obviously have Minnesota's pick this coming season, so
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of interesting stuff there.
Yeah, and Kawhi really elevated. Like when I saw him make that shot in the Eastern Conference, I was like, this guy's the new MJ or something, because he's just amazing, and just to be so clutch is just something that was unseen in the Toronto scene for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what a great series. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously strife with injuries, but I'm very happy for Masai. It's a testament to him being a little bit daring and betting on himself, And I would love to see more teams do it, because in this era of basketball, it's kind of, no one wants to be on the treadmill of mediocrity. So everyone's either tanking or trying to win it all. And I would love more teams to go for it every year.
Yeah, and he had to break up the two best friends there, Kyle and DeRozan, and that was a huge, rip apart. And to bring in that and they won, it's just amazing. So yeah. Anyways, what's new on the radar for TopShot, or is there anything that you can give us? What's coming? We heard about some new throwback packs, but what else you got, guys, coming up?
Yeah, so the Run It Back packs, we're really excited about. We have some other rare packs coming soon. We have plans for a legendary pack probably about a month out from now. Obviously, getting pack drops secured and strong and stable is our top priority as far as the engineering goes. So features that we know are on our wish list and we plan to add soon, they're just taking a backseat until we get the drops working perfectly. Or perfect is too strong, but working really, really well, I should say. And then on the kind of all hands on deck side, like, we have such a backlog of tickets. So literally everyone from our CEO to our marketing team to community like myself to business development to HR, we're all just learning Zendesk, hopping into the queues and trying to help because, we're only as strong as our community. And we have quite a few tickets to work through to, address problems that have come up over the past month or so.
Talk about that statement a little bit. What does that mean? Like, we're only as strong as our community. Like, why is it? I saw the Flow blockchain release an article about how to build a community or so on that topic. What does that mean to you, being, head of community?
Yeah, I think, look, in any economy or ecosystem like TopShot, where it's predicated on supply and demand, you need people to, as more people come, the community members' collections, in theory, become more coveted because there's a very scarce supply and there will be increased demand. So I think, like, for us, we're only as strong as our community. I mean that to say, if someone has a ticket and they had a question, they're emailing us as kind of a last resort because they don't know where else to turn. And if they don't hear from us for 2-3 weeks because we have such a backlog, that's not meeting our standards as trying to live up to our community. So that has happened in recent weeks, and I think there are a handful of reasons why it came to that. I think primarily it's scaling, right? Like, it's much, much easier for hindsight 2020 to say we should have more customer support people. Like, clearly, yes, we all agree on that now, but 5 weeks ago, that was not the case. And you're a business owner yourself, like, adding someone to a team, you want to do that with full confidence that you're adding the right person, and you don't want to make a decision based on false urgency. So there is absolutely urgency on our team to scale up, but as I mentioned, everyone is kind of pitching in, all hands on deck to help out until we find the right people to kind of work on the team. And so the urgency is real. I don't mean to dismiss that by saying false urgency, but I think rather than adding someone that we're lukewarm on, I'd rather contribute, help out as much as I can. The rest of our team help out as much as we can. Bide time until the perfect candidate comes our way.
Oh, that's a good answer. Hey, just one thing I was curious about, feature-wise, a lot of people have been asking, myself included, about trading and selling packs. When is that feature going to be coming?
Yeah, so right now, we're instituting a mission, vision, values plus rules to our Discord. One of the rules is explicitly prohibiting off-market trading.
Okay.
The reason being, we're seeing so many scammers impersonating members of the community, impersonating referees in our Discord, impersonating mods, impersonating myself. So it's just not safe right now for people to trade. And so what I would say is after we fix the issues around pack drops, we have a ton of great ideas, such as being able to list your unopened packs on the marketplace again. And that will come in due time. We just, again, we're trying to crawl before we walk and walk before we run. So all these things are definitely on our roadmap and definitely things we're excited about, just not quite what we can do until we get the other stuff right.
Yeah. Yeah, and for now, like, I mean, we see so many TopShot users on my partner CryptoSlam's website, and it goes back to that profile of the fantasy player, but you also have the pack rippers as well too. So there's all kinds of people in this community. How do you use CryptoSlam?
I'm using it pretty much every day to check how many moment owners are in our community. When I'm talking to players or journalists or people in the space that are interested in learning more, I'm referring them to CryptoSlam, and I'm basically just cherry picking, like, okay, let's see, in the last minute, ooh, that Zach Levine went for $720. Why is that? that Marvin Bagley went for $12. Why is that? So I'm using CryptoSlam a lot there. I love what you have built there, really appreciative of it. And we've talked before, I think, like, your ideas for the future there are really exciting and only going to make the CryptoSlam platform even more kind of useful for our community, which is great.
Yeah, on that note, it's Connie Randy who's the founder of it, and he's just amazing. He's just he's a collector himself, and he's done all this, and I'm just happy to be a partner with him. So yeah, thanks for coming on. The other thing I have is that you gave me a pack to open. Why don't we just share the screen real quick? Oh, actually, you know what? We'll drop, and I'll probably open that on my own.
That sounds great. Hey, I really appreciate you having me on, Johan. Thanks so much.